Hello and welcome. This is Aso TV News. Many thanks for joining us. I am Tina Oje Achu. The headlines. President Tinubu writes Senate seeks $2.34 billion approval to fund budget. FCT Minister Barrister Wike flags off rehabilitation of 15-kilometer-old Kado Road. And stakeholders raise alarm over rising impact of social media on youth mental health. And now the news in detail. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has conferred national honor on Professor Muhammad Yakubu following the expiration of his second term in office as chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission. President Tinubu, in a statement announcing his acceptance of Yakubu's departure, said the honor of Commander of the Order of the Niger bestowed on him was in recognition of his dedicated service to the nation. Yakubu was first appointed in November 2015 as the 14th chairman of the commission for an initial term of 5 years. The appointment, which was renewed in 2020, has now expired due to the passage of time. Presidential spokesperson Bayo Onanuga, in a statement on Tuesday, said President Tinubu thanked Professor Yakubu for his services to the nation and his effort to sustain Nigeria's democracy, particularly through the organization of free and fair elections throughout his two-term tenure. President Bola Tinubu has written to the National Assembly seeking an approval of a $2.34 billion fund budget. The letter was read by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, and referred to the Senate Committee on Loans, Local and Foreign Debt. President Tinubu noted that the 2025 fiscal framework anticipates $9.27 billion in new borrowings to address the budget deficit, of which $1.84 billion is earmarked for external sources at an assumed exchange rate of 1,500 naira to the dollar. He explained that the external borrowing would be sourced through various instruments, including Eurobonds, syndicated loans, bridge financing, or direct loans for multilateral institutions in order to optimize costs and manage risk effectively. A key element of the plan is the refinancing of Nigeria's $1.118 billion Eurobond issued in 2018 at a coupon rate of 7.625% and due to November 2025. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, swears in two newly elected senators to serve for the remaining term of 2 years as senators, replacing their former senators from their two respective senatorial zones. Senator Joseph Ipia, Edo Central, replacing Senator Monday Okpebolo, who is now the governor of Edo State. Senator Emmanuel Nwachukwu, Anambra South, replacing the late Senator Ifeanyi Patrick, who died last year. They were ushered to their respective seats by the sergeant at arm and served, each with a copy of the Nigerian Constitution and a copy of Senate standing orders respectively to guide their conduct as senators while in the chamber. Senate committee queries NNPC retail over reported loss. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has expressed concern over food deficit in the country, declaring that more than 33 million Nigerians suffer from acute hunger. Senator Akpabio said this in a remark at the resumption of plenary on Tuesday in Abuja after a 2-month recess. He maintained that the only way to address the food crisis currently rocking the country is to resort to mechanized farming. Speaking further, the Senate President drew attention to terrorism, banditry, and national grid collapse as some of the challenges facing the people and called for an immediate end to them all.
Over 33 million Nigerians face acute food insecurity, a crisis demanding urgent legislative attention, particularly in areas of agriculture, rural roads, irrigation, and mechanization. This must be introduced. Hunger cannot be defeated with words. Hunger requires policy direction. diligent budgeting, and willpower to defeat it. Our people do not look to us for lamentations. That is not why they voted us. They look to us for action. The banners of terrorism and banditry still threaten the very countrysides of Nigeria. The cost of living weighs upon the families and all tables in the nation like iron chains.
Meanwhile, Senator Natasha Kwoti, representing Kogi Central, resumed plenary at the National Assembly on Tuesday. Natasha, who rounded off her 6-month suspension, officially resumed her seat in the Senate on Tuesday at exactly 11:42 a.m. She walked into the Senate chambers, made her way to her seat, and after taking it, exchanged pleasantries with a few senators. The Senate Committee on Public Account has raised concerns over reports that NNPC Retail, a subsidiary of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, has declared losses despite its strategic position in the downstream oil sector. Chairman of the committee, Senator Aliyu Wadada, SDP Nasarawa West, disclosed this during an interaction with journalists in Abuja on Monday. Wadada said the development was worrisome and of public interest, stressing that the committee would summon NNPC Retail to explain the circumstances behind the reported loss.
NNPC Retail has declared loss. That is also of concern to the committee and the public as well, because we cannot understand why NNPC Retail should declare loss. But whatever it is, this is our our perception and understanding of the situation. When NNPC is called on this, we shall also hear what they have. But as far as the audited financial statement of NNPC that the world knows this committee is investigating between 2017 to 2023, the NNPC has responded to the 19 questions we sent. And the press or the Nigerians or the public will know what the response, the answers are, and out of the answers, what those that make sense and those that do not make sense shall be known to the public.
Senator Aliyu Wadada revealed that the committee had earlier issued 19 queries to NNPC Limited over its audited financial statements covering 2017 to 2023. According to him, the company had since responded to all the questions, though the documents are yet to be laid before members of the committee.
The ultimatum given to NNPC wasn't during the recess. It was before the recess. And while at the recess, they wrote us to say that we should please extend the period because they were putting the data or the information or responding to the various questions together, which of course we did. And they have responded. We have all the answers to the 19 questions we asked. But it is yet to be tabled before the committee, and that's why the committee, via me as the chairman, is still not saying anything until it is put before members of the committee. But permit me to say, like I promised, or the committee promised earlier, we shall definitely do justice to that matter. And beyond even the audited financial statement, there are other issues coming up around NNPC. First one is the production sharing contract. What is the production cost to Nigeria? That must have to be defined, be gotten, and the public will be made to know what it is. What goes to NNPC? What goes to the IOCs, that is international oil companies, and what goes to the government under the production cost, that is production sharing contract.
The committee chairman assured that justice would be done to all matters under investigation, promising transparency in the handling of NNPC's account and operations. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Barrister Nyesom Wike, has flagged off the rehabilitation of the 15-kilometer-old Kado Road from Kado Village to Dede, fulfilling a promise made to residents and traders during the commissioning of the Saburi 1 and 2 roads. He said the project awarded to Lubric Construction Company was part of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's commitment to infrastructure renewal in the FCT. Barrister Wike commended the chairman of AMAC, Honorable Christopher Mekalangu, for his advocacy on behalf of residents and called for continued support for the administration of President Tinubu.
Who know the importance, who know what you want, those who will always have sleepless nights to worry authorities to see that their needs are provided. And I want you to say Makalangu is a good representative. And I want you to say Makalangu is a true chairman and is a chairman that is worthy. The chairman that's worthy to be re-elected, so that if he's re-elected, it makes it easy for you to have continuity and somebody who will still come back to us and say, Mr. Minister, thank you, but again, go and remind Mr. President that my people still want this.
He also urged the contractors to engage local youths and artisans in the construction process to ensure that the community benefits directly from the project. In her remarks, Minister of State for the FCT, Dr. Maria Mahmood, lauded President Tinubu for prioritizing projects that impact ordinary citizens, describing the rehabilitation of the old Kado Road as a testament to his vision of enhancing connectivity and economic growth across the territory.
What we are witnessing today is a language of leadership translated into action. The rehabilitation of this important road is not just about dignity, safety, or access. It is about making life easier for the people that pass across this road every day. And these roads are not just physical infrastructures. They are the engines of growth and development. And they are also bring opportunities and also enhance the quality of life of our people.
Dr. Mahmood said the road serves as a vital link for thousands of commuters daily, reducing travel time, improving safety, and boosting socio-economic activities. She also praised Wike for his purposeful leadership in driving the FCT's infrastructure renewal agenda. The FCT Inter-Party Advisory Council has appealed to the Independent National Electoral Commission to extend the continuous voter registration exercise beyond the October 8 deadline. Chairman of FCT IPAC, Ibrahim Koko Kuje, stated that the appeal follows extensive consultations with political parties and stakeholders. Correspondent Abdullahi Mukhtar completes the story.
According to Ibrahim Koko Kuje, the extension is necessary to make up for technical glitches encountered during the August 18 to October 8 schedule for the continuous voter registration exercise and to accommodate more prospective voters in the FCT. The FCT IPAC chairman said that the current deadline may not provide enough time for all eligible voters to register, potentially disenfranchising some citizens.
We had serious challenges, technical challenges in the field during the exercise. We have understanding between the INEC staff and the host communities. But the main challenges is the network, which is technical. And we felt as IPAC, we are shadowed with the responsibility to come and speak on behalf of the general public. So the INEC is the reason why it should be an extension of date.
He said an extension will provide more time for prospective voters to register, potentially increasing voter turnout in future elections. Koko Kuje added that by allowing more eligible voters to register, the extension will contribute to a more inclusive and credible electoral process.
And we are soliciting for a 1 month, at least by end of the October. It's still within the Electoral Act, that is 90 days before the election.
Members of FCT IFAC have already presented the appeal to the FCT Resident Electoral Commissioner, who promised to relay the issue to INEC headquarters. The outcome of IFAC's appeal remains to be seen, but the call for an extension is gaining traction among stakeholders. Abdullahi Mukhtar, Aso Television News.
You are watching Aso Television News. You can watch us live on DSTV channel 392, also on StarTimes TV channel 127 and Free TV channel 507. We are also on the UHF band on channel 38. Still to come, stakeholders raise alarm over rising impact of social media on youth mental health. Stay with us for details of these and more stories.
And welcome to the greatest show on earth. This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come. Let's go! Lights, camera, action. Put your mind on it, live the life that you remember.
Stay connected. Stay with us. Starting from Yanga and Jolly.
Thanks for joining us again. An annual Mental Health International Conference aimed at raising awareness and promoting action on the protection of young people's mental health in the digital age has been held in Abuja. The chairman, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, Dr. Musa Aliyu, Minister of Youth Development, Comrade Ayodele, and the chairman, FCT Universal Basic Education Board, Professor Abdullah Mohammed, were represented at the event on the theme Reimagining Youth Mental Health in a Digital World, Identity Overload and Connection. Correspondent Rosemary Kokotega has details.
The event, organized by the Secure the Future Initiative (SDF), had representatives of the chairman, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC), Minister of Youth Development and the chairman, FCT Universal Basic Education Board (UBEB), among other stakeholders, highlighting the growing concern about impact of social media on young people's mental health.
Let me use this medium to urge you all to envisage a brighter future by rejecting every form of corruption, promote integrity, transparency and accountability at all times. You find yourselves anywhere. Together we can build a society where hard work and honesty are valued. Once again, I want to appreciate the SDF for organizing this conference at a time when the realities on the ground are influencing and shaping perspectives and behavior of our dear youths.
The link between education and mental health is undeniable. As we strive to provide quality education for all, we must also prioritize the mental well-being of our learners. The mental health of our youth has a direct impact on the academic performance, social relationships, and future prospects.
For the youths, always remember you are the next generation. Whatever attributes and qualities you admire in the house, kindly inherit. The shortcomings, disregard. It's your show. We are here to share experiences, to discuss and guide. You, next generations, are to operationalize it.
Founder, Secure the Future Initiative, Dr. Saadatu Adamu, noted in her welcome address that mental health is everyone's responsibility. She said the SDF, in its 7 years of existence, committed to nurturing youth towards maintaining sound minds while navigating the digital world.
By the grace of God, SDF has successfully inaugurated 10 mental health school clubs, across FCT, established a rehabilitation center, and founded an institution dedicated to mental health training and advocacy. And today, we are humbled to announce another major milestone, the official launch of our Mind Dog app, an app that we believe will really support people within and outside Nigeria.
Youths from schools within the Federal Capital Territory (FCT), National Youth Service Corps (NYSC), and other groups were major participants of the conference. Rosemary Kokotega, Aso Television News.
Africa is mobilizing to take decisive control of its own health future amid a worsening landscape of rising outbreaks and sharp cuts in foreign aid. The Africa Center for Disease Control and Prevention made this declaration during a media briefing officially announcing the 4th International Conference on Public Health in Africa. The conference, with the theme Moving Towards Self-Reliance to Achieve Universal Health Coverage and Health Security in Africa, is co-hosted by the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the Government of South Africa in collaboration with Africa Bio's 8th Annual Bio-Africa Convention, expected to come on in Durban, South Africa from October 22 to 25, 2025. Speaking at the media briefing, Director General of Africa CDC, Dr. Jean Kaseya, underscored the critical need for the change, noting that for years, African health systems have relied on external financial and logistical support, as this model, he said, is no longer tenable.
Since 2021, foreign assistance for health in Africa has dropped by nearly 70%. It means hospitals without essential supplies, communities left without clinics, health workers losing their jobs. Many African countries are burdened with shrinking fiscal space and rising debt cost. But we are not powerless. Across the continent, governments are taking strong, bold actions. The Accra Initiative, complementing the Africa Health Financing in a New Era, launched by Africa CDC, are clearly showing a pathway towards sustainable financing of health.
Professor Olive Shisana, President of Evidence-Based Solutions, framed the current challenge as a defining opportunity for the continent, serving as an opportunity for Africa to lead, shape, and define its own health future. A central pillar of the self-reliance strategy is local manufacturing of health products. Africa currently imports a staggering 90% of its required medicines and vaccines. Dr. Nilanla Somi, President of Africa Bio, spoke passionately about the continent's untapped intellectual capital and resources, emphasizing that African innovation must be driven by Africans to solve African problems, which are often overlooked by global markets. The conference will also focus on domestic financing reform, seeking concrete strategies to boost the average health funding provided by African governments, which currently sits at only 7%, far below the 15% target set by the Abuja Declaration. And on business now, the National Bureau of Statistics has acknowledged the critical role of the multiple indicator cluster survey in effective decision-making for national growth, while commending efforts of all stakeholders, especially the steering committee and relevant partners, for the success. Statistician General of the Federation and Chief Justice and Chief Executive Officer of the NBS, Prince Adeyemi Adeniran, in Abuja during the flagging off of the Mike 7 highlights major objectives to include, among others, human capital development in line with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's led administration. Our business correspondent, Ile Meje, tells us more.
The Statistician General of the Federation and Chief Executive Officer of the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, Prince Adeyemi Adeniran, in his keynote address at the flagging off of the Multiple Indicator Cluster Survey in Abuja, highlights major objectives of the survey to, among others, informing decision to reducing mortality rate, as well as delivering better results for all Nigerians.
The objectives of this 7th round remain clear and strategic. They reflect our collective resolve to deepen evidence-based policy making and strengthen data systems that inform meaningful development outcomes. Another one is to provide disaggregated data for identifying disparities and promoting social inclusion.
While flagging off the Mix 7, the Statistician General affirmed commitment of the Bureau to timely and accurate data.
It will inform decisions on where schools are needed, how to strengthen immunization coverage, how to reduce child and maternal mortality, and how to direct resources to the communities that need them most.
Speaking in an interview with newsmen at the sideline of the event, Prince Adeniran emphasized relevance of the survey to boosting the country's developmental initiatives.
Multiple indicator cluster 7, round 7 of which we are flagging off today. It's a nationally representative survey that is being conducted by National Bureau of Statistics.
Other critical partners present, including representatives of UNICEF, expressed optimism that the survey will deliver positive results while pledging more support.
This will help us to understand the situation of children, but also this will allow the policy makers to make policies and plans so that their situation can be improved.
The Bureau Chief further urged for full support and cooperation of citizens, especially households, for better outcome. Ile Emeje, Aso Television News.
The Economic Community of West African States, Chairman and President of Sierra Leone, Julius Maida Bio, opened the Ad Hoc Council of Ministers meeting at the ECOWAS headquarters in Abuja, emphasizing the importance of fairness, inclusivity, and regional solidarity in the allocation of leadership roles. The meeting aims to review the distribution of statutory positions for the 2026 to 2030 term as current mandate near completion. Oluwapelumi Adeyemi has more details.
President Bio urged ministers to approach discussions with the commitment and open-mindedness in prioritizing regional unity over national interests.
To facilitate this process, Council established this 8-member ad hoc committee comprising of the republics of Benin, Cote d'Ivoire, Gambia, Ghana, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Nigeria, Senegal, and Togo, to review the proposed allocation of the Commission and submit it to the Council for consideration and ultimately to the ECOWAS Authority for decision. A memo was prepared taking into account the provisions of the 2012 Supplementary Act.
Minister of State for Foreign Affairs Bianca Ojukwu, on her part, pointed that as the seats of current statutory appointees of 4-year terms are set to expire, there is need for equitable representation, particularly for smaller or less resourced member states that have demonstrated unwavering commitment to ECOWAS.
Our mandate, therefore, is to carefully review the Commission's proposals and to submit our report to the Council of Ministers during the statutory meetings in December 2025 for its final consideration and subsequent recommendation to the authority.
The committee's recommendations will be submitted to the ECOWAS Council of Ministers in December, with the authority of heads of state and government making the final decision. Mr. Maida Bio, in his closing remark, disclosed that the Commission stands ready to provide services that would ease the work of the committee. Pelumi Adeyemi, Aso Television News.
And that's the news. Many thanks for watching. I am Tina Oje Achi.